One day, during a raid with his brother-in-law Hank Schrader, a DEA agent, Walter discovers that the methamphetamine trade in Albuquerque is a lucrative business. It is here that the idea that will change his life is born. He can make and sell methamphetamine to secure his family's financial future. To achieve this goal, he teams up with a former student who has failed in his life, Jesse Pinkman, who has already been selling drugs. Walter and Jesse begin making methamphetamine in a camper van, and Walter uses his scientific knowledge to produce a pure, high-quality drug. This success brings them to the attention of drug dealers and criminals, which leads them into a series of dangerous encounters. One of these dealers is Tuco Salamanca, a violent and crazy character who threatens their lives, but Walter uses his sharp wit to overcome him. Over time, Walter gradually transforms from a concerned family man into a man obsessed with power and control. His new personality, which he calls Heisenberg, becomes clear as he becomes increasingly involved in the criminal world. At first, Walter justifies his actions as simply securing his family's future, but as things escalate, his greed and pursuit of power become the primary motivation for his actions. Meanwhile, Jesse Pinkman is under great psychological stress due to his collaboration with Walter. Their relationship deteriorates and becomes complicated by difficult decisions Walter makes, including his indirect involvement in the death of Jesse's lover, Jane Margolis, who dies of a drug overdose while Walter watches without intervening. Jane's death causes Jesse a severe psychological crisis and reinforces his feelings of guilt and loss. Later, Walter partners with Gus Fring, a businessman who runs a chain of chicken restaurants, but secretly runs one of the largest drug empires in the Southwest. Gus is impressed by Walter's chemical talents and offers him the management of a state-of-the-art underground meth lab. As Walter becomes more involved in the drug trade, he becomes increasingly aggressive and completely loses his moral compass. However, the relationship between Walter and Gus deteriorates when Walter senses that Gus is planning to replace him with Jesse. Eventually, Walter successfully orchestrates an elaborate assassination that kills Gus via a hidden bomb. At this point, Walter has fully transformed into a ruthless man, killing his opponents without hesitation and becoming one of the largest drug dealers in the region. However, he pays a high price for his personal success, as his relationship with Skye collapses after she discovers his actions. Their family life becomes filled with doubt and fear, especially as his son, Walter Jr., gradually comes to realize the truth about his father. In the final season, things get even worse when Walter's brother-in-law Hank discovers that Walter is the Heisenberg he's been following all along. This discovery leads to a dangerous escalation in events, as Hank tries to bring Walter down legally, while Walter tries to protect himself and his family at all costs. During this time, Walter enters a confrontation with a neo-Nazi gang who are holding Jesse hostage and using him to produce methamphetamine. In the end, Walter finds himself alone and hunted by everyone. He returns to Albuquerque to confront his enemies and settle his final score. He manages to kill the Nazi gang with a clever plan and frees Jesse, who is held captive and forced to make drugs. Despite everything that happened between them, Walter gives Jesse the choice to kill him, but Jesse refuses and leaves. In the final scene, Walter wanders into the lab that was a symbol of his success and downfall and dies there after being fatally wounded, while the police intervene. The ending is a powerful example of the devastating consequences of ambition and greed. The series deeply explores the psychological and moral transformations that can occur to a person when he is immersed in the world of crime.